Hello guys. Just wanted to do a quick little video. I've had some things on my mind as far as like why it's hard for people to actually make a good living or live well when they retire. And that's because we understand that we need to save, we just don't understand how much it needs to compile, right? We need to put that aside for retirement, that money, that savings, and we don't understand exactly how much it needs to compound over time for us to actually be making money, if that makes any sense. We go and we spend money. You see, financial awareness is not just understanding how much you make and how much you spend and how much you're leaking, so to speak. It is actually making sure you're putting your money to work for you. And you understand that you need to make a certain percentage per year to be able to have it be making money in reality, because there is inflation, there is different types of inflation. The one that they give you on your social security, they increase it every year based on inflation. They give you about half of what you really need. I'm not going to go into the details or the numbers there, but you're getting less than what you need. Okay, that's the main point. And I wanted to go over a couple of accounts that you can use to grow that money over time, and a biblical principle that reminds us that we're supposed to be making our money work for us while we go work, if that makes any sense. So I'm going to go ahead and share the screen with you guys. I'm going to jump into first the Bible verse. And it basically says, "For it will be like a man going on a journey who called his servants." The man already has servants, so he has probably a business or some sort of thing going on, right? And entrusted to them his property. To one he gave 5 talents, to another 2, to another 1, to each according to his ability. So here we know already, God only gives us according to what we can manage. Now, we can manage it good, or we can manage it bad, or we can manage it great, right? So, then he went away. Verse 16. He who had received the 5 talents went at once and traded with them, and he made 5 talents more. So he immediately went, didn't even think about it. So also he who had the 2 talents made 2 talents more. They both made 100% back, right? But he who had received 1 talent went and dug in the ground and hid his master's money. You've heard scared money doesn't make money. Well, this is basically the depiction of it. You go and bury what you have. You get your money that you're saving and you put it under your mattress, you put it in your savings account, but it's not doing anything. I mean, yeah, in the savings, they give you a 0.01, right? A penny on the dollar, so to speak. Now, after a long time, the master of those servants came and settled accounts with them. And he who had received the 5 talents came forward, bringing 5 talents more, saying, Master, you delivered to me 5 talents. Here, I have made 5 talents more. His master said to him, Well done, good and faithful servant. You have been faithful over little, I will set you over much. Enter into the joy of your master. And he also, who had the 2 talents, came forward, saying, Master, you delivered me 2 talents. Here, I have made 2 talents more. His master said to him, Well done, good and faithful servant. You have been faithful over little, I will set you over much. Enter into the joy of your master. He also, who had received the 1 talent, came forward, saying, Master, I knew you to be a hard man, reaping where you did not sow, and gathering where you scattered no seed. So I was afraid, and I went and hid your talent in the ground. Here, you have what is yours. But his master answered him, You wicked and slothful servant, you knew that I reap where I have not sown, and gather where I scattered no seed. Then you sought to have invested my money with the bankers, and at my coming I should have received what was my own with interest. So take the talent from him and give it to him who has 10 talents. For to everyone who has will more be given, and he will have an abundance. But from the one who has not, even what he has will be taken away. And that's what happens. You put your money in your bank account expecting it to grow over time as you deposit, but in reality, when you want to use it, it is worth less than what you thought it is. It can buy less than what it could before, right? We're going to focus on the principle of having your money working for you. Being a good steward of what God gives you, right? He gave you the job, He allows you to keep it, He allows you to wake up and go to work every day. So that paycheck is not just yours, right? You see, many people don't tithe. That's on you. I'm an advocate of tithing. I believe it's a grateful thing to do. It's you're showing your gratitude to God, right? So you give to Him what's His. You keep the 90%. With that 90%, maybe you can use another 10 to save, put into a brokerage account, buy some assets, maybe some commodities, go buy some land, go buy some properties, go buy some stocks, become a partner with those big companies and own a little share of it, right? And grow your money as they grow theirs. Have your money work for you. Have your assets, your houses, properties, maybe even vehicles generate money for you, right? Whatever avenue you choose to invest in, have it be making money. You see, the person who was in charge here, the master, he left, he had servants, he had people who worked for him. He could leave money for them to work with. It was a wealthy man, right? Now, we should want to be like the wealthy man, but we should also want to be like the ones who know how to grow their money. We should invest in what we learn. We should invest in new skills to help us either provide a better service, build systems for companies, or help people that just need something, right? It could be building fences, it could be building houses, it could be cleaning cars, it could be cleaning floors, it could be whatever it is that you see as a need out there that you know you can do, just do it, right? Provide a service and make sure that you understand you need to invest in your skill set to grow your money. Simple ways we can do that is like right here. I even created a little slideshow, and I'm not going to go through all of it. This is for Intentional Wealth Academy, but I'm going to share a little bit of this with you because we're supposed to invest with intention and we're supposed to pass it on wisely. We're supposed to accumulate in a sense that helps us be financially free, but makes the next generation understand from a start already how to handle properties, cash flow, assets, or whatever it may be that you are amassing, right? We shouldn't just get assets just to be rich. You should be able to get assets just so you can spend time with your loved ones. That is financial freedom. Now, the abundance, like it's mentioned even in the parable of the talents, will come if you do things right, but you should at least be financially free, right? And that's the goal. Learn to be so and teach your loved ones, your next generations, to be able to remain so, The core investment accounts that are usually utilized, right? One of them is through your work. The other three, you can choose which one you want, or you can venture into talking to your CPA to see which one's more beneficial for you, right? I'm not a financial advisor, nor do I pretend to be, or a CPA, right? And the main reason is why we learn to invest for yourself. You can get somebody to do it for you. You're going to end up paying them thousands of dollars over the time. But if you don't really want to learn, then that's an option too. We can connect you with them. But I am a high advocate of learning how to do things yourself until you can't do them yourself no longer. And I'm also an advocate of knowing when to delegate. So when it's small amounts, it's good to dabble into it, know a little bit, learn. When you're going, tens of thousands of dollars per year investing, then you might want to look for somebody to help you out, right? So compounding rewards over time. That's why. That's the biggest reason why. When you do it yourself, you save thousands of or tens of thousands of dollars over the years that you're paying in small little fees, right? So the earlier your money is invested, the longer it has to grow. And that's one of the things that we're not taught. When we get the jobs, usually they don't talk about retirement until we're like in our 30s or so, unless you have one of those really good jobs that offers you that 401k then that's amazing. You're starting on your retirement early. But then if you move out of that job and you get another one, do they have a 401k? Are you going to be able to roll over your 401k? Are you still going to get the match and everything? That becomes an issue or a thing. Maybe you could just keep it there and have it compound over time and you're fine. So, number two is control over time. Understanding your accounts means you decide how your money is actually invested, not just where it's parked. And most of these 401ks, for example, they tell you where you're going to invest. You have no say. And it's just allocated basically every check. You don't decide where to buy, so to speak. Now, number three, growth beats sitting in cash. If you have your money growing 10% and 8% a year, it beats having it under the mattress in a savings account, sometimes even in a high yield savings account. So it's better to have it growing over time than to not, right? And it allows you to be able to borrow in some instances. It also means confidence. You're not guessing. Once you understand the areas where you want to buy, where it's a better deal, so to speak, you get deals on the stock market any month, not just in November, like we usually do in Black Friday type sales. Well, we can get those any month, especially if you know how to chart and use the graphs, right? So it builds confidence. You're not just guessing. You're not just dollar cost averaging over time without necessarily seeing where the levels are. So knowing how each account works removes the fear and mystery. So you invest with a plan, not a guess. You know where to buy. You know more or less when it's time to maybe rotate your money to someplace else because it's already grown there, right? And that's one of the biggest reasons why a brokerage account may be better than a 401k for some reasons, for some people. And that's why I suggest you actually have multiple things, not just one. Because in some accounts you can move the money yourself, and in others you really can't. So you're really trusting the process of compounding over time. Unless it has ETFs and all that stuff, then you're pretty safe with that compounding over time, opposed to if you're just getting your company's stock, so to speak. Now, the four core investment accounts, and these are the ones usually everybody sees, right? Your 401k, which comes from your employer, and it's actually best for getting an employer match. You get a percentage match or a same amount that you put in, they will put in match. Basically, you're getting free money. If you're sending 30 bucks out of your paycheck every single week, by week, or month, or whatever, they're sending the same amount to your brokerage account, to your retirement account as well. So it's free money. It's going to grow over time, basically faster. And now we have the traditional IRA, which is personal, not through your employer, it's personal, and it's tax deferred. You will pay taxes on it, but it's when you pull out the money, and how you pull out the money also varies on how much you pay. Now, a deduction now, if you don't have or exceed a workplace plan. So if you don't have a 401k, it's a deduction now, right? Now, if you have both, so long as you don't exceed what you put into your traditional IRA, you're fine. You don't got to worry about the taxes on that, at least in the beginning. You will get taxed on your earnings yearly and all that stuff. That's just part of the game. That's how the IRS does it. There's ways you can use companies and structures and separation of the money to keep maybe the bracket of your taxation lower and stuff. But that's, you discuss that with your CPA or your tax strategist, which we have one in the community, by the way. Now, the Roth IRA is a personal, also tax-free growth. This I like. A Roth IRA is tax-free growth. So tax-free withdrawals later, ideal for long runways. Let's say you're learning how to trade the stock market and you understand how to graph those resistances, those supports, and all that stuff in. And you fund your Roth IRA, you put some limit orders where you want to accumulate certain stocks. And you may maybe dollar cost average every now and then just because you got a little dip that's not quite there yet where you want to buy, but it's good enough. So that's a really brilliant way to use your Roth IRA. You put in those little limit buys, limit sells. If something is already hyperextended, let's say you reached all-time highs in a company, you understand this, you just get that notification on your brokerage because it's on your watch list or whatever, and you can go trim that position, find something that's really close to that floor where you wanted to buy, and maybe roll it over to that, company or whatever, and have it grow a little bit more than it would if you just set and forget it, right? That's why I like the trading aspect of this and the personally doing it yourself, because literally you can just sit down in the afternoon, 5-10 minutes, check out what's going on once a week, once a month, and rotate your money and have it grow more than it would if you just set and forget it, right? And now brokerage is taxable, yes. You can use LLC structures again for this one, for all of these three. And you can roll all of these over to your spouse or your children, maybe even a trust or some type of company that's not just yours, and work a little bit with the flexibility of the taxes, right? Now this one, there's no age or contribution limits. You can put as much money as you want. For these two, you will have contribution limits yearly. And that's why one of these two, whichever is best for you, and maybe one of these is good. If you already have one of these, that's perfect. You'll have three, amazing, right? You can borrow as well against some of them through particular banks. Also, accumulating assets doesn't just mean stocks and, compounding your money over time. It could be silver coins. These silver coins. Oh, I don't know. There you go. These, if you actually get enough of them, you can borrow against what they're worth as well. And you don't get taxed on that. You don't get taxed on loans. So buying something where you can put your money into it, it has value, it's growing over time, you can borrow against it and not be taxed on it, is just smart. That's what the wealthy people always do. That's what there was a slip up in one of the government meetings a few months back. And somebody said, buy assets, borrow against them, don't get taxed, invest your money, grow your wealth. And I'm like, everybody should be doing this, right? But we're not taught this, so we don't know about it. We don't have the company's legal structure to do it properly. So we actually got to ask around, connect. We have connections here. We do connect you with tax strategies. We do connect you with lawyers that can help you make your LLCs and stuff, or your trusts and all of that. And we actually connect you with companies that can help you use your whole life insurance, just like the Rockefellers did. Yes. So basically your pros and cons. I'm just gonna put this here, screenshot it. I'm not gonna talk about it right now. It's just an introduction video, but I do need you to go over this if you can. And if you want to learn more about it, please do subscribe to our free school community. And if you want to buy one of the courses, amazing. If not, there's weekly calls you can go into and ask questions. You can ask questions. You can bring your companies that you want us to cover, analyze with you live every Friday at 2 p.m. And we can go over things like this. You see? Can you borrow against these? Brokerage, yes. 401k, yes. The IRA options, no. So, one of these, right? Or both, depends on you. And if you do work for somebody else, make sure you get one of these. If you can have them give you money every time you put money into one of these from your check, that's free money. Take advantage of that. But always remember, buy assets, trade commodities, trade stocks, make money, make more money than last time, right? And try to calculate your spending. Try to have a grip on your spending your budget, your income, and make sure you spend less than what you make and invest. I can't stress investing enough. You need to invest, start accumulating assets. Pretty big on rentals, pretty big on real estate, huge on stock market. So if we can help you in any way, please do subscribe and maybe join that community in school. Intentional Wealth Academy. See you there.